coincidentally, last week I was in Behrampur. It's a very small place, but it has a university, it has a medical college, it has so many educational institutions. And coming from that place, later on doing his MD from Utkal University and then coming to AIMS and setting up his name in not only in the country but all over the world. And I may tell you that even after retirement, he is pro-chancellor KIT University Bhubaneswar, and he spends 2 weeks in Bhubaneswar and 2 weeks in Delhi. He is executive director gastroenterology, Fortis Escort Digestive and Liver Institute, Okla, New Delhi. He is also emeritus professor in Department of Gastroenterology, All India Institute of Medical Sciences, because he is basically belong to that institution, which is one of the premier, not only in the country, but all over the world. And you can say, we also heard on liver, Professor Shiv Kumar Sareen, Dr. Ritu organized his program also. But these two giants in India, and both are, in Delhi or partly in Delhi, maybe, they are the world-known figure. And we are fortunate to have both of them in this university. So I think let us welcome him with a big clap. All of you know Dr. Ashwini Kumar. He is, I always say that he's, of course, his profession is, medical, but he is a, singer or artist or whatever. I mean, he has done several kind of roles, and still he is the, a unique person who can, create these programs in Hindi, Urdu, English, and a great genius, I should say, not only in medical, but also in artistic things. So I'm not going to read their biodatas as such, but basically he is a BC Roy Award awardee and eminent medical teacher. And let me tell you, wherever I go in Delhi, in private hospitals, if I say that I'm a friend of Dr. Ashwini Kumar, probably he has been educated by him. So they all fondly remembers him because he is a special doctor as well as an artist. So with this background, and another thing is, beta ye chalana usko, video kaun chalayega? Shukla? Okay. This medical series happened because of our honorable president, and his vision is always to do something which is unique, always. Some of our students, always think that what is the relevance of these medical series for the university education? Well, let me tell you, friends, if you talk of life skills, probably let's hear this video and then I will. These are the 3 programs we already had. These were the 3 programs we already had, and today is the 4th one. And as you know, this is mainly on liver. Why this medical series? Again, as I was telling you, the vision of our honorable president, basically life skills are also very, very important for any educational institutions to deliver that, yes, how we can become the best citizen in this country. And medical series helps you to know that what you can prevent by certain actions. And though I'm not from medical profession, but I can say that two important things are the food you eat and the physical activity you do. And that is also a stress buster. If because a lot of our young minds are today undergoes the stress problem, I don't know why. So all these things are extremely important. That is why we feel that our youngsters should be exposed to this thing, that they should believe in prevention rather than going to the doctor in case of emergency, or in case of certain disease we have to go to the doctor. But most of the things, seasonal things, we can prevent. And liver is an important organ. And I tell you, believe me or not, most of the youngsters today, if you scan doctors, doctor must be seeing a lot of patients, that we see that youngsters have fatty liver. So this does not mean that they have a disease of the liver, but probably if things can be corrected, that is important. So with this background, we would like to honor the guest with a planter and a small kit from SAU. So I would request Honorable President to honor Dr. Acharya. I will request Dr. Ritu God to honor Dr. Ashwini. I will request Professor Kapil to honor our Honorable President with a planter. With this, I would request Honorable President to speak few words before we start, and invite Dr. Ashwini to do the proceedings. Thank you very much.
Our guest for this afternoon, Professor Acharya. I won't say our guest, he is one of us, Dr. Ashwini Kumar now. He is the chief organizer for these series, and the only MOU which we have had is that he will get the best in the country for talking to our faculty, and he has not failed us, will not fail us. And once again today, ladies and gentlemen, I am extremely happy that he has been able to find time from Professor Acharya to speak to our faculty and some students. Professor Acharya is a national figure in his area of specialization, and I'm happy to find that he is serving a university which I approve, Mr. Acharya. KIT University was approved by me way back to start, and therefore I'm very sure whenever we want Professor Acharya once again, his Chancellor Achyuta Samanta will be so happy to depute him here to make sure that he is available to us. Friends, as Dr. Sumit Agarwal said, the purpose of these series is not to educate you medically, that cannot be done, but to give general awareness about some situations which are easily preventable and which can help you to help yourself. That has been the aim. And I'm very sure in the last 3 lectures we have seen how by very simple language things have been conveyed. And the most beautiful or the toughest lecture by any specialist is to make it simple. And that is why we pick up the best, because middle level can never make it simple. A simple lecture can only be delivered by the best in the subject. That's my perfect belief, and it is further strengthened by these 4 lectures. So with this, I'll not stand between you and Professor Acharya, and I'm sure you will definitely find much better knowledgeable about your body to the whatever extent it can be conveyed in 1 hour. I once again, on behalf of all of you, welcome Professor Acharya to this university, thank him for his time, and hope that our audience will be immensely benefited. Thank you, and Professor Acharya. Dr. Ashwini will introduce the subject and Professor Acharya much better in his own characteristic style, and that will set the ball rolling for the day. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Dr. Ashwini, stage is yours.
Namaskar, Deviyo Sarjano, ladies and gentlemen. I, Dr. Ashwini Kumar, on behalf of South Asian University, established by SAARC nations, welcome all of you to yet another relevant medical presentation essential for well-being of everyone under the monthly series entitled Medical Series for Public Awareness. As they have mentioned, we have dealt with solving common eye problems to improve quality of life by Dr. J.S. Tayal, preventing diabetes and complication, taking change to make a difference, Dr. Sri Venkat Madhu, hernia, myths and facts by Virender Kumar Bansal. South Asian University is making tremendous efforts to create awareness about the common medical conditions, how to prevent, how to get cured at the earliest. Now, you know the topic for today is lifestyles that make liver cry. As the young minds who are sitting at the back, motto should be to live as healthy as possible. तंदुरुस्त जीवन जीने का अपना ही मजा है. हर चीज करने को मन करता है और हर काम में दिल भी लगता है, चाहे वो कन्या पटाना ही क्यों ना हो. अच्छी नींद, स्वस्थ भोजन और खुशहाल मन, इन तीनों की साझेदारी में जीवन संवरता है. स्वस्थ जीवन वो जादू है जो उम्र के हर पड़ाव पर काम करता है. जब जीना आज है तो काम कल पर क्यों छोड़ना है. प्लान फॉर द डे एंड फिनिश ऑन द सेम डे. ऐसा करेंगे ना तो बहुतों से आप अपने आप को आगे पाएंगे, अच्छे भी लगेंगे और गैरों के भी अपने हो जाएंगे. हमारा इकबाल का एक मशहूर शेर है, खुदी को कर बुलंद इतना कि हर तकदीर से पहले खुदा बंदे से खुद पूछे, बता तेरी रजा क्या है, कैसी तकदीर लिखूं मैं तेरी. Subrat is Sanskrit origin name, indicates someone with high principles, integrity, dedication, disciplined, and reliable. Kumar is widely used Sanskrit origin middle name or surname, primarily meaning prince, boy, young or unmarried. धार्मिक और सांस्कृतिक संबंध से ये शिव के पुत्र और हिंदू युद्ध देवता कार्तिकेय का प्रतिनिधित्व करता है। उत्तरी और दक्षिणी भारत में अक्सर मध्य नाम के रूप में प्रयोग किया जाता है, जैसे अशोक कुमार, दिलीप कुमार, अक्षय कुमार एंड ऑफ कोर्स अश्विनी कुमार। आचार्य का अर्थ है शिक्षक या गुरु जो केवल उपदेश नहीं बल्कि उदाहरण बनकर सिखाता है, जो स्वयं श्रेष्ठ शैली जीता है और दूसरों को सिखाता है। अब जरा कल्पना कीजिए, जो इन तीनों नामों से जाना जाता है उसका व्यक्तित्व क्या होगा, है ना? बिल्कुल हट के सराहनीय एट एवरी लेवल, सिंपलिसिटी एट द बेस्ट, unassuming personality, constant friend and admirer of nature, socially acceptable, dying in patient care. Kindly welcome Dr. Subrat Kumar Acharya. संजीदा व्यक्तित्व के मालिक हैं, अच्छी सोच के धनी हैं। फरमाते हैं, मुझसे मिलना हो तो खुद के किरदार में आना, चेहरे परख लेने की बुरी आदत है मुझे। कभी कभी इन्हें यह भी एक ख्याल आता है, परीक्षा में आए मुश्किल सवाल सा हूं मैं, हर किसी ने छोड़ा है मुझे बगैर समझे। इनके व्यक्तित्व पर एक शैलेंद्र का लिखा हुआ हिंदी फिल्मी गाना एकदम इन पे वाजिब होता है। किसी की मुस्कुराहटों पे हो निसार, किसी का दर्द मिल सके तो ले उधार, किसी के वास्ते हो तेरे दिल में प्यार, जीना इसी का नाम है। किसी लड़की को ढूंढने को इन्होंने कहा तो हिदायत दी कि भाई जरा जिगर वाली ढूंढना, वरना फिगर वाली तो सन्नी लियोन भी है। Or you already know he's the former professor and head department of gastroenterology and dean research AIIMS New Delhi, presently at Pro-Chancellor Kalinga Institute of Industrial Technology, Bhubaneswar, Odisha, executive director and gastroenterology, Fortis Escorts, Okhla, New Delhi. His brief biodata, academics and research achievements involved in conducting applied research in the field of liver disease in India over the last 40 years, acute liver failure, chronic liver failure, primary liver cancer, and hepatitis viral infections. About 400 research papers in indexed international and national journals of repute, written about 100 invited editorials, reviews, and wrote many chapters in textbooks of gastroenterology and medicine. Recognition by 3 important science academies: Indian National Science Academy, INSA Fellowship, Indian Academy of Science, Bangalore Fellowship, National Academy of Science, India, Allahabad Fellowship. He's also a professor emeritus at AIIMS. Awards and honors: Lifetime Achievement Award from Indian Society of Gastroenterology as well as Indian Society of Liver Diseases, delivered multiple orations and many coveted awards, and Padma Shri by Government of India in 2014. Taaliyan baja dijiye. Representation and national international societies, past president of Indian Society of Gastroenterology, former editor of tropical gastroenterology, hepatology, on editorial board of various gastroenterology and hepatology journals, worked as consultant to international and atomic energy agencies to develop radioisotopic treatment modalities for treatment of primary liver cancer, and so on. लिवर या जिगर यकृत शरीर का एक अंग, साहस, जोश और बहादुरी का प्रतीक। कुछ मुहावरे हैं जो भावनाओं की तीव्रता को स्पष्ट करते हैं। जिगर थाम के बैठना, अब प्रोफेसर के अग्रवाल की बारी आई। जिगर कबाब होना, तीव्र इच्छा या दुख होना। जिगर धड़कना, बहुत अधिक डर जाना। जिगर ठंडा होना, संतोष मिलना। जिगर होना, साहस या हिम्मत होना। Present day lifestyle choices are primarily diverse, is that responsible for global rise of liver diseases. We are lucky to have Dr. Subrat Kumar Acharya, an authority of liver diseases, with recognition at international platforms. अगर आप इनको ध्यान से देखें तो इनके चेहरे पर आज एक नया नूर है। अब बताइए, अब साउथ एशियन यूनिवर्सिटी की औरतों का दिल मचल गया, तो मुझे बताइए उनका क्या कसूर है? Apart from singing and from acting, I have been doing the advertisements also. एक मैंने किया था, आपने सुना होगा, गले में खराश, फौरन स्ट्रेप्सिल लीजिए, 4 मजेदार जायकों में स्ट्रेप्सिल। इसको कन्वर्ट किया है कि जिगर में तकलीफ, फौरन डॉक्टर सुब्रत कुमार आचार्य को संपर्क करें। दिल्ली और भुवनेश्वर में उपलब्ध हर औरत की पहली पसंद डॉक्टर सुब्रत कुमार आचार्य, आचार्य, आचार्य। Kindly welcome Dr. Subrat Kumar Acharya. Please come.
Before you put my slide, I want to say something. Do you want to listen to me or listen to him? Right. So you are not envious of me. My position is so bad now. You see? Right. A person who is so eloquent, so versatile, in analyzing from name, right, to the organ, right, you cannot match him, right. And I actually asked him before he approached me, I just spoke about the liver lifestyle, liver disease at India International Center. Why do you want it to be repeated, right? He pointed the question, his finger to SIU University's officer in special duty, Dr. Suman Agarwal. He told he wants that you talk because they have a medical series. It's very heartening to know that a university is having a regular series on health issue. And it's correct actually that what Dr. Ashwini told, right, that health is wealth. Now think about when you have viral infections, how you feel. Can you do anything? You have fever, you have pains, you cannot. You have serious ailments, it's very difficult to concentrate your mind. And that's why I must congratulate the president of your university, Professor K.K. Agarwal, and Dr. S.K. Agarwal. And I just met your director, Life Sciences, respected man, and your proctor, and the faculty as well as my dear student, right? Asuni told very lot of saris, no, right? But I will tell you, because I just was listening to him and listening to the way his mind works. And he first actually asked me to speak about liver and lifestyle in ISC. I was surprised why I should speak to a lay public about liver disease, which is so technical. It is very important. Because the present day, one of the major changes you see in a younger generation is the change in behavior, the lifestyle, and lifestyle-induced disease. I remember way back when I was a kid and was reading in a school in remote Odisha village. The major cause of death were infectious diseases, like malaria, like smallpox, like cholera, like tuberculosis, right? They are no more there. And at the time of our independence, our average lifespan was 32 years. Now your average lifespan is 70 years. Because we had huge childhood mortality. And we have a lot of infectious disease. Tuberculosis was very prevalent. Do you see tuberculosis nowadays? No. Now, over this period, as we have been able to control infectious disease from childhood universal immunizations, awareness about this infectious disease, the preventive strategies about this infectious disease, and excellent therapeutic agents against all these infectious diseases, for malaria, for tuberculosis, for all these diseases, has reduced the infectious disease mortality drastically. And we started living longer. I remember during my younger days, we will walk to the school. Nobody walks to the school today. We are all parents, right? Nobody walks. We'll cycle to the college. Professor Agarwal told he became a professor, he bought a scooter. Till that time, he was probably cycling. I will ask you, how many do you cycle? None of you, all of you have a vehicle. To go there, you don't walk. Am I right? Now see the behavioral changes. Now, previously, you used to take food, which was actually being grown in your backyards. Or many of you, if you remember, right? Baigan banta tha, saag banta tha, right? Local fish आप खाते थे. Now, many times you want to go to out, weekly twice, taking your children, going to a restaurant, ordering pizza, burger, cokes, patties, pastries, ice creams. Many of you are taking ice cream, right? Nobody used to take ice creams. Now you see, you don't walk. You don't take food, predominantly vegetable, you take processed food, right? And since the whole lifestyle has, or demands to life has changed, you start to work for hours together because you want achiever. You want to write grants, you want to write papers. So it continues to sit for a long period. You don't go around. No, you are not designed for that. I'll just go through that. You are not designed for that. We are process of evolution. हम आदमी कैसे बने? Forget about Charles Darwin's theory of evolution. Simple, common lay language. हम आदमी बने. Our previous species were who? Actually, mammalian species. Madam will say, remember. Now, after human genome study, we have now cracked our genes. A rat gene and our gene is 95% same. There's 5% difference. They're mammals. So many of the genes are conserved across the species. So evolved from, say, rats, monkeys, right, gorillas, right, and human being. And we evolved in jungles, right? We didn't have this luxury. Our evolution, every organ which evolved and made us human, evolved depending upon the necessity of that particular organ to make you human, in simple language. And one of the major organs which has to do many functions in the liver during process of evolution is liver. I always say heart is a pump. It pushes, it's important. It pushes blood, it's a pump. Supplies blood to the whole body. Perfusion important because it carries oxygen, right? Heart myocardium is a pump. Very interesting. You see, you don't charge it like your mobile, but it runs, okay? The lung is a membrane. It maintains your oxygen in the blood. We take oxygen from the atmosphere. 30% is oxygen in the atmosphere. It goes to the lungs. The blood comes, gaseous exchange occurs. That is membrane. So that the oxygen can be carried to the periphery. Right? Your body has muscles, liver, various organ functioning. There are byproducts. They are not good for you. They must be excreted. So it's excreted through kidney. So there is a filter. But if you see liver, right, it does many functions, right? I have pointed out here. There is a cursor here, yeah. You see, whatever you eat, you take bread, you take rice, you take vegetable, you take chicken butter masala, you take biryani, right, whatever, right. It will all be processed in the stomach. In mixed stomach is a big organ in mixi. Mix it. It cannot be absorbed directly, no? Chicken cannot be directly absorbed. Mixed, they will be broken by the enzyme, digestive enzyme secreted from pancreas, which is the back of the stomach, in the intestine. They will be broken down to unit. And they will be absorbed in small intestine. And thereafter, you will go out large intestine as stool. Now, when they are absorbed through vessels. And all these vessels joined together will go to the liver. They cannot reach anywhere. You need nutrition. You need glucose for energy. You need fat for various enzymes, hormone. You need protein to build your muscle, repair your bone. Right? Many other minerals, vitamins, which are very necessary. But they will all go to the liver. Think they are processed there to the unit particle, carbohydrate, fat, protein, a lot of food processing. So it has to produce a lot of biochemical substance to break them down. It's a lot of work. You are eating 4 times, 5 times. सामने पिस्ता पड़ा है, खा लिए. उसको भी काम करना पड़ेगा. That will also work. So you see how much work, how much enzyme it has to produce. And they are all interactive. Right? You see, if you don't take carbohydrate, only take protein and fat, they will also be get converted to energy. So there is interaction in between. Right? So that's one of the very important functions. Then it's synthetic function. I have next written synthetic function. Can you see this? You had a lot of proteins in your blood, right? And one of the major protein is albumin. You must have heard about albumin. It's all synthesized in the liver cells, right? Without albumin, your blood will become thin. Fluid will get out. It's so important. Now, you bleed. It clots. Liver produces most of the clotting factor, right? Many of your fats, which are necessary to build your cell, all cells has fats, right? All enzymes, all hormones, all chemical lipid is necessary. They will be produced there. Now you have to digest bile. It's all synthesized with the liver. Now it processes your food. Then it synthesizes things. Then all the processes is the products produced in the body as a factory. जो कचड़ा होता है, right? They will block all your organs. वो कचड़े को निकालना है. Liver is the place again. They detoxify and secrete through bile, through the stool, or through circulation. It will go to urine. आप दवाई खाते हो. All drugs are metabolized in the liver. Biotransfer from step 1, step 2, man. Right? And you are getting operated, anesthetic, everything is through liver. I told, whatever you eat has to go through the liver. Then to the heart. It is environment. Lot of bacteria also. Intestine stool may have packed with bacteria. But those bacteria you won't find in the blood. And what prevents it? It is a barrier between your body and environment. It protects you. It's a part of immune system. And it also produces many substances which are written their name. I don't go into that. They're necessary to defend you. Right? You have heard about neutrophils, at least lay people, macrophages, which are first line of defense. Now, if a bacteria enters to your body, they will engulf it, phagocytosis. For that, you cannot engulf directly like that. You need a glue. It will attach itself. They are called opsonic proteins, right? All produced by liver. Complements, mammal, no, and many things. They are very important for immune functions. All these bacteria, if you actually take blood from the veins which are entering liver and take the blood from veins which is coming out of the liver, you'll find the difference between various bacterial toxin is about 1500-fold. It's all filtered out there. There's so many functions it is to. So its reserve is used. Unless if suppose its reserve is very low, mild infection will be able to cause all this dysfunction, and your life will be at threat. You can cut liver, it will regenerate. That's why we do liver transplant in end-stage liver disease, because healthy liver can regenerate. And one liver cell can function 10 times its capacity. Therefore, the problems of liver are invariably silent. When they manifest, is advanced. And that's why I gave this background, that why liver is a very important organ. Now, I explained you about lifestyle. Now, I also explained you how the lifestyle has changed starting from Dr. Agarwal's day when he purchased a scooter at professorship and going to school in cycle to now. If you see, this is a cartoon I have drawn. These are actually us. Now, if you see, I have also drawn the foods which you are taking. But simultaneously, our brain also developed. In the top line, if you see. So once brain developed, we started thinking. And that is the biggest problem even today. Evolutionary brain developed to benefit you. Right? Not to harm us. But if you see Trump, he is harming us because his brain has evolved. You see, you understand the point? Now, we have done that to ourselves. Don't blame Trump. We have done that to ourselves. Now, if you see, we evolved in jungle. We didn't have food 4 times sitting together. You have to walk miles to search our food. We have to remember a niche area where their food is there. Right? When food is there, it provides us fuel. Fuel is essentially glucose, which burns in the cell and produces energy, which many of your science students don't know ATPs. Right? TCA cycle. Forget about it. It burns. But you see, you don't get food always. You have to walk sometimes miles. So where does the energy comes? So body recognizes that evolution. See, there are states where we don't have food or fuel. But there are states when we have food. So it evolves the genes to convert some of the food for use in future. पैसा कमा रहे हैं ना, MF में म्यूचुअल फंड में डाल रहे हैं, फिक्स डिपॉजिट में जरूरत होता था. So body also sense like that. And stored food during fed stage, 12 to 15% of your food will be stored as fat. Now, during non-fed state, this fat will burn. For that, you need a lot of enzymes. And that produces fuel. The fuel is ketone. And that ketone is also a fuel which burns, provides energy. But what did we did? I will just come to that. We did. See last figure and see the food below it. And we continue to eat. We didn't have non-fed state at all. And see refined sugars. Halwa khaye, laddu khaye, sandesh khaye, right? Immediately the glucose will shoot up. And to tackle it, insulin is our one. Insulin converts extra food to fat when it is available. And you are eating this, so what are you doing? You are continuously producing fat. Then you didn't spend it. This food with high glycemic index. You set. How many of you sit for more than 10, 12 hours in your office? Many of you. In between, don't walk at all. But you take tea, you take bada, you take samosa, you take all these things. Continuously you are doing. So you are not spending anything. So body has evolved whenever there is a food to convert 15% to fat. So see what you are doing. That's what I did in prolonged sitting. Today we call prolonged sitting as smoking, equivalent to smoking alcohol. Should not sit more than 2 hours. And to add to fuel and power every day evening, somebody was telling, Aswini is telling, how can Aswini be like this without having alcohol, drinks, always, right? He was just cutting in jokes. He doesn't. He's a teetotaler. Now he's find many, this has started in a young age. Now do you see alcohol, he told about some of his relatives. We see alcoholic liver disease and people dying between 15 to 44s. That is the peak. Once I analyzed the series and saw, the peak age is around 35 to 38. And starting alcohol is around 16. So with these habits, and alcohol again will be absorbed, and alcohol is metabolized only in the liver. So you have a fat which is causing liver damage. You have added a fire, fuel. This is what has happened in the lifestyle. How many hours people you sleep for 7 hours? It's extremely important evolutionary necessity for you. It not only depends upon your growth, storage of energy, repair mechanism, it's an important determinant of your defense system, immune system. Also metabolism is a very important. Your more amount of food processed in the evening which you have taken will be processed and stored as fat. Unless you have taken early dinner, give a gap and sleep well when metabolism is at the best peak. I call all these things a mental health problem. इच्छा ही नहीं होती है चलने के लिए, इच्छा ही नहीं उठती है उठने के लिए, सवेरे 5 बजे उठ के वॉक करने के लिए इच्छा ही नहीं होती, क्रेविंग होते हैं टेस्टफुल खाना खाने के लिए, रेस्तोरां जाने के लिए. So I define that as a mental health problem. And of course, environmental pollution. We have genetic risk. As Asians, we are more prone to this than Caucasians. There is a reason. I will explain between subcutaneous adipose tissue and visceral adipose tissue. What is that? So I explained about this. Fat stage, glucose is energy. Glucose burn, produce energy. In non-fat stage, fat burns. Now tell me where this fat will be stored during process eating. Where extra money you park? In the banks. So you need a place. In your house, you have a locker or a treasury where you'll keep your money. Your jewelries, many of your ludis, you have a box, jewelry boxes, right? Which are extra. So where this fat will be stored? You need cells, fat cells, adipocytes. If the fat cells are in heart, in kidney, in liver, in other viscera, well, they will not be very efficient. They are heavy. So fat cells evolutionarily were distributed below the skin. Right? But at Asians, we have less fat cell below the skin. Some fat cell in the tummy. Right? That's why you'll find tummy bulges. If you see a Caucasian, he is like this. Right? If you see Indians, they have all bulge fat. You understand? So the extra, but we are eating the same thing. Same amount of calorie, not walking. Where this additional fat will go? They will go to the viscera. So this is called actually subcutaneous adipose tissue versus visceral adipose tissue. Our extra calorie goes as a fat to our viscera, liver, heart. That's why you have a lot of heart attacks in young people, middle-aged people, right? So you see, we have an imbalance between subcutaneous adipose tissue and venous adipose. So that's the thing. So this I just explained. You eat, become obese, increase fat in the blood, they will create very difficult for glucose processing. So glucose levels will go. We call it insulin resistance. Insulin cannot push it. And extra insulin will convert extra food to the fat. So this increases. But what happens if the fat increases? Even this, if you have a lot of fat below, the fat itself is active tissue. It is not a silent tissue. It produces some inflammatory mediators, cytokine, and invites a lot of cells into the fat. And this produces a lot of chemicals which actually are inflammatory state, just like you have infection. Body produces a lot of inflammatory chemicals. The fat produces similar chemicals. You'll see you feel lethargic when you become obese. Right? You will not feel energetic. And these chemicals not only produce difficulty for insulin to push glucose, it spills over to vessels. The vessels are lined by cells. These chemicals damage them, endothelial dysfunctions. And that's why you get stroke or heart attack. Right? Besides the vessels blocking it. So this is what results actually which I pointed out. Motapa, the insulin cannot work, so glucose level will go. Diabetes, extra glucose gets deposited fat in the vessels. Heart attack, kidney failure, eye damage, peripheral vascular disease, and blood lipids increases, we can measure it, and it can cause all these diseases. Remember, fat is predominantly processed in the liver. All the foods are processed in the liver. Now you are loading it with fat. Dr. Agarwal told you have fatty liver disease. And once you load it with the fat, you saw the functions it has been doing. Think what you have been doing. Right? So just what happens to the liver? Liver looks like, on a microscope. Not less than, more than 5% of the liver should have fat. Now this is a fat of less than 30%, I have just drawn it, which you can pick up in an ultrasonography. Because fat prevents sound waves to travel, so more sound waves will come back, so it will look bright. Right? Now it can be filled with fat. And once the fat is filled, the cells will get damaged. Once there is a damage, if you have an injury, what happens? It heals by scar. Wound healing is the body's response to scar. Liver all same thing. You would have a scarred liver. Now you have a scarred liver, the blood cannot flow because जो नाला है वो बंद हो गया. In a minute, liver allows 1.5 liters of blood. You have total 5 liters. 24 times it circulates. Now you have scarred liver, they will not go. Food will not be processed. Albumin will not be synthesized. Clotting factor will not, you will bleed. And vessels will try to bypass, and a small vessel will open up below, put pipe to go to the heart. They burst. And that happens. I'm not scaring you. And this is the sequelae I have drawn, right? What, step by step what happens. You have a healthy liver, you have a fatty liver, then you go, there is increased scar because of injury, and then when we become completely scarred, it's called cirrhosis liver. Cirrhosis is a term derived from scirrhus. Scirrhus is the English word. Scirrhus fruits, fibrous fruits. So there is increased fibrosis, that's why you call it cirrhosis. And once cirrhosis, you heard these consequences. You cannot cure it. There is no drug till now. And liver fails because that we have to replace your liver. You must have had liver transplant. And this is one of the major, India has become the second largest country following United States across China doing liver transplant. But still, the waiting list is long. And we don't have organ donation. So one of your members has to give half of your liver of the same blood group. Otherwise, his patient's body will reject it. It's painful. It's difficult. Right? But if you see, all these things can be prevented. Can they be? If you understand it, your mental health is okay, you are motivated, can you prevent them? You saw the factors. You have to do simple things. You have to walk along. You have to go to your evolutionary process. There has to be a non-fat state. Eat less, walk more. Right? Eat less glycemic food, fine sugars, take more vegetables. Very simple steps, not difficult, right? If your grandmothers are alive, ask them what they would be eating, right? That's a simple thing to do. So this is the step we go through the fatty liver. Add alcohol to it. So what will happen? Right? Now you have seen, if you take a lot of alcohol, I don't want to go into this, with alcoholic liver disease. Alcohol directly causes liver damage. There are processes. Directly will cause cell necrosis and scar. Right? And lastly, I have taken metabolic associated dysfunctional steatotic liver disease. They're technical. Steatosis means fat. Right? Metabolic dysfunction, you saw what happens if you fat accumulate. Various metabolism dysfunction associated fatty liver disease. But some people say, we take small amount. A little bit. थोड़ा सा लेता हूँ. कुछ नहीं होता है. In between लिखा हूँ something we call as beta ALD. But उनका टोन थोड़ा बड़ा हुआ है. ठीक है? हफ्ते में 2 दिन दोस्त मिल जाते हैं, थोड़ा ले लेते हैं. Right? Sir, that is equally bad. And that causes more rapid progression of liver disease to cirrhosis than fatty liver disease per se. We call it a drop of alcohol today is harmful. Because we are Asians. I told you Asian ethnicity. You see, none of us have a lot of fat below the skin. Right? Now in the party it has become a very beer le lete. Kuch nahi hai. Even some people say wine is protective heart. Nonsense. Nothing is protected. Right? It's zero alcohol. Now, in the United States, the coroner is arguing severely with government of India to put a warning on alcohol bottle, like cigarette packet, that smoking kills. Alcohol kills. And it will happen. Right? And in between, आप खाना खाए, रेस्तोरां में पिज्जा और बर्गर खाए, एक कोक पिए, एक आइसक्रीम खाए, उससे पहले एक बियर ले ली दोस्तों का साथ. And starts from young, university students. And I think students should have been there. Right? And that is the beginning. Without your knowledge, liver has a lot of reserve. एक सेल 10 गुना फंक्शन करता है. आपको पता ही नहीं चला. When you are 50 at your productive best, it will strike you. And easy to pack liver because Dr. Agarwal knows fatty liver. Everybody knows fatty liver. What does it mean? You say, thoda bahut fat hai. No. You have a metabolic dysfunction. You have insulin resistance. You have increased calories, which is getting deposited. So this is causing changes in your other organs simultaneously, which you cannot access. You cannot access. A ultrasonic decomposition of fatty liver is a warning to you. भाई सुधर जा, वक्त है. वो बड़ा important है. That's why it's very important. Forget about alcohol score. So if you see, if you become fat, even though one of them, if you can, your BMI. How do you calculate your BMI? Your weight by height in meter square. It should be less than 23 for Indians. I tell you simple, height in centimeter minus 100. If you are 170 centimeter, आपका वजन 70 kg होना है. Per inch 1 kg. अब 5 फुट है 60 kg वजन. उसका मतलब ज्यादा है, मतलब you have additional fat. As simple as that. If you see, आप ब्लड टेस्ट, आजकल टेस्ट सब कराते हैं. आप ब्लड ग्लूकोज देखे हैं कि 105 है, तो ठीक है, 110 से नहीं है. नहीं, मैं लिखा हूं सेकंड पॉइंट, फास्टिंग सेरम ग्लूकोज मोर देन 100 मिलीग्राम. खाना खाए नहीं, ग्लूकोज गया नहीं, 100 से ज्यादा है. You have started developing insulin resistance, right? ब्लड प्रेशर आप देख रहे हैं 40 साल 45 साल है, राइट? और कभी कभी 130, 180 है, 120, 80, 130. ये भी गलत है. ये arteries are getting hardened because of fat. Slight rise. And fat level थोड़ा सा भी बढ़ा है, that's wrong. जो प्रोटेक्टिव कोलेस्ट्रॉल है वो HDL कहते हैं. आई डोंट वांट टू गो टू वो एशियंस जेनेटिकली वी हैव लो HDL. इट्स प्रोटेक्ट्स एंड आप बेटर रहते हैं. ये सब फाइन शुगर खाते हैं. यू अंडरस्टैंड हाउ व्हाट प्रॉब्लम Asians and Indians are having the highest attacks of coronary artery disease and diabetes today in the world. I think people don't know that. And I have just explained how this fatty liver causes multiple diseases. It is the warning, it affects heart, it affects kidney. Nowadays we are seeing those who are fat, without their knowledge the kidney is gone. Their serum creatinine is high. भाई क्या है उसको? क्यों हुआ? He doesn't understand. Many physicians don't understand. Right? Now kidney do not have a specific drugs like liver to cure it. It will go to dialysis or a transplant. Simple steps. Understanding why it occurs. And now this is the cause. And see, I have pointed out certain things here. Just for interesting sake, this is a recent evaluation that what is the obesity prevalence in India. 40%. आपके अंदर इसका मतलब है 40% लोग is overweight, obesity, without your knowledge. And आप स्कूल जाओ, पहले स्कूल में सब पतलू पतलू आदमी थे. Now all of you are mothers. Now what do you give your बच्चे को स्कूल को टिफिन में? Sandwich. See? Right? Sweets, chocolates. Don't give sandwich, ma'am. It is all flour, high glycemic food. And the schools are feeding Cokes. One glass of Coke or fruit juice has 12 cubes of sugars. Now all additional sugar will get converted to fat. Now if you 35% school children are obese, and today in India particularly, I'm worried. The curriculum demands they should go to a line. Professor K.K. Agarwal is sitting here. He is the president. All of you are teachers. Now what we are doing to our younger generation, we are pushing them to get jobs, making them work hard without working. And they're getting heart attacks, strokes, liver disease, kidney failures at the peak of their life. Right? Now, you have to rethink as an educationist that how you have to modify your curriculum, your approach, right? South Asian University does have a sports event. There's an annual function of sports, art, drama, music competition. You don't have it. Don't you think it's more important? Right? It's extremely important. Because that's what we are doing. Second thing I have to, you know about Apple computer. And you have heard about Steve Jobs. Steve Jobs didn't manufacture Apple computer. It was Wozniak, a Poland fellow, who was a 10th class dropout who produced Apple computer. He came to one of the IITs giving a convocation address. I heard it. He told, in India, you are creating education to do jobs. IIT, right? They work for me. You don't train them to create jobs. That is the second gap we have. So that's the problem. You are training, madam, life sciences to take PhD, postdoctoral to get a faculty job. You are not creating to produce molecules which will make us money. Right? That's a very important thing. We are importing everything. Your Taq polymerase you are still now importing for PCR. A NUNC plate you are importing. A microtip you are importing. A pipette you are importing. You are not training your children to create them. Right? I am not going into this. Now, what are the clinical symptoms of obesity? Simple. Test yourself. If your chest has a lot of fat, chest will not expand. There will be no gaseous exchange. आप एक स्टेयर नहीं चढ़ोगे, आप बोलोगे लिफ्ट, आप ऑटोमेटिकली लिफ्ट में जाओगे. Right? Now there will be excessive sweating because with little effort, the body temperature will go up. And you know how body temperature cools. If you are a student of physics, there are 3 ways the temperature generate, right? Convection, conduction, radiation. Clear? Right? If you sweat, right, it will radiate energy by cooling, right? You have a double chin, right? And नीचे लिखा हुआ excess deposition abdomen and fat, right? And you will feel fatigue because you have a chemicals moving around. A simple thing. And I told you how do you know about your measurement, weight, abdominal girth. Simple. I don't want to go to these technical things. And you see, I've given an ultrasound, which you do very well. If you see left side, to you on the left side, the kidney and liver are there. See the colors, they're similar. See the right side, the kidney is lighter. Lower part is the kidney. Goal okay, right जो है. And upper part is liver. You see bright. It's the simplest test that you have fat. Forget about that. There are various ways to fat. So what do? There are now many drugs because people were 10% of the people didn't lose body weight in the world, but they suffered from disease. So tell me which disease is prevalent in 38 to 40% of people. It is a global prevalence also. बाकी बीमारी 1%, 2%, 3% में होता है. कौन सी बीमारी 38 every third person को होता है? Now this becomes a big manufacturing machine. So जो big commercial industries है, they have spent billions now to develop drugs. You have heard them about Ozempic. Common name now. There are many drugs in the pipeline and many of them are licensed drugs. Expensive. They have side effects. They have optic atrophy. They have pancreatitis. And now you can prevent them just by walking, just by cycling, just by motivating, just taking green vegetables and eating less. Now, this, so I don't want to, you see, even if you're fat, even if you have fibrosis, now if you do exercise and lose what, they reverse. You don't need drugs. I've got draw a pyramid. If you lose 10 to 15% of your basal weight, even the scars will become normal. Nothing better than that. I don't, and these are the diets, Mediterranean diets. But they have given Mediterranean diet because it's all West. I will get our diet. By बैगन के भुर्ता, bean, भिंडी, right? अपनी दाल, साग, वही है Mediterranean diet. Fish, don't take red meat or chicken, right? These people eat that and they walk, right? But this is Western. Exercise, I just explained you how beneficial it has been already proved by scientific studies. So these are various drugs. I don't want to go into that. And there are many new drugs, millions of costly. You will find many of this has been cleared. Now available in Indian market. I myself must be prescribing few of these obese diseases. Forget it, Dr. Acharya. I cannot get up at 5 a.m. I cannot cycle. गोली दे दो, मैं पतला हो जाऊं. राइट जिगर खराब है आप बोलते हो ठीक कर दो इसीलिए तो आपका पास आया वो दे आर रिच बिजनेसमैन राइट what arguments you will give them right for that the companies are making billions now this one of these drugs has maximum now sold in India it is also a fab in marriage market 6 months before the marriage the fat fellow says ye jab de do main patlu ho jao shaadi kar you will not believe 50% is the market in India is because of this right I'm to tell you this. So these are all important. And remember, your diet changes your gut microbiome, which is an important determinant of your health. These are simple things, but we don't know it. These are not simple things which allows you to bat for a long period of time. You will bat for centuries if you take care of them. And is common knowledge. There is no rocket science in it. Simple. And think, very important, there should be more ladies because the education starts at home with children. And I will request Ashwini and Dr. Saab to actually organize these talks where there are females, right, to save this country's next generation from disaster. That's a very important thing which I realized. So this is my last slide. I'll always give this slides. Love your liver. If you love your liver, it will protect all your organs, right? So no sweets, no processed fruit, no fruit juice, no sweetened beverage, less carbohydrate, less chapati, pizza, burger, noodles, samosa, and kachori. Right? Exercise, no alcohol, and sleep well. Let me tell you something about samosa. You buy samosa, no? वो फेलो क्या करता है? वो तेल में एक उठाया, फिर दूसरा डाला. That becomes trans fat. Second time when you cook. Trans fat just converted them to lipids and get deposited in other cells. Right? So, friends, Ashwini and made me forced to talk this in a language which probably I can be able to convey. I'm not an eloquent speaker or a sire or an artist like him. I'm a simple doctor, but I see this today. I see a lot of young mothers coming their children who are खाते पीते घर के. ठीक है? हम दुबला पतला बच्चा चाहिए. खाते पीते घर के बच्चा चाहिए ही नहीं. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for giving me the opportunity. Thank you, Professor Agarwal. Can I come now? Yeah, I can answer any question. But don't tell I am speaking bullshit.
Mediterranean diet.
Yeah,
So you have talked about the Mediterranean diet.
with
so,
a lot of fruits,
yes. So
fish.
other than that, they also live a very slow kind of life. So do you think that also has some impact on it?
What kind of life?
Slow kind of life.
Low.
Slow.
No, they don't lead slow type of life. They
But
walk.
Italians, they are known for like taking it easy and having a
Young
slow kind of
lady,
life.
there is a place called Sardinia in Italy. Nobody dies before 100 years. Nobody. A 7 years and 10 years, 100 years blood pressure is same. The reason is the later, exactly Italy has happened same way as we have gone in many of the cities. But if you go to our village, right? Have you seen the movie Godfather?
So, but I know about it.
See that. That has depicted the Italian village life. If you see, they walk miles.
Yes.
They walk miles, they eat green fruit, right? They plow their own land, right?
Yes.
The culture is different. They are violent people. For occupying, they will kill other, right? But they live long. Italians in cities, right? In Padua, right? Or in other cities, there is a Western culture.
Yeah.
Same thing, right? You will get burger, you'll get pizza, you'll get hams, right? You'll get salamis, right? They're all wrong food. And the incidence of fatty liver disease or cirrhosis or alcoholic liver disease or coronary disease is very high in these cities. It's not true that real Mediterranean diet is very healthy. Mediterranean diet is predominantly if you give cereals, right? If you go to Greece, right? You go to Japan and Okinawa,
Yes. Yes.
you will find all thin fellows. They do not have fat. You understand?
Yes, sir. They walk a lot as well.
Exactly. That's the point. There is a book called Ikigai. You should read it. That is about a land called Okinawa. There also people live for 100 years. Right? They eat sea fish, seaweeds, happy people, and avoid all vehicles. Now you have a beautiful campus. How many of you walk around this campus? Right. Cycle around the campus. I will request Agarwal sir to give 100 cycles so that they can use it. Thank you.
Anyone else?
Any other question?
What? Yes, fruit juice has fructose. Processed fruit juice. Fresh fruit juice you can take, but raw fruit is better because raw fruit has fibers. You understand? Fruit juice has pure fructose. Fructose directly gets converted to fat because go to the liver.
So what is your opinion about cooking oil? Like which oil is better to cook?
Yeah.
Or saturated fat like ghee? Or seed oil like soybean, olive oil? Which would you suggest?
Well, the oils which have more monounsaturated fatty acids are more helpful because saturated fatty acids, if you understand saturated, those oils which will have fridge in the cold, they have saturated fatty acid because they have double carbon bonds. Forget about chemistry, right? And the unsaturated fatty acid have single carbon bonds. They do not get frozen or will not get deposited. Rather, they're helpful in the process of metabolism. In Indian context, mustard oil is good. Coconut oil has a lot of medium chain triglyceride, right? Refined oil or palm oil are very bad. Vegetarian, dalda, they're very bad. They are all saturated fatty acid. Cooking olive oil is good. I always say, in old days, we used to take mustard oil. Right? That's the best oil for Indians. The best oil.
Cold pressed oil and any difference, or it's just a marketing gimmick?
Is marketing. Is marketing.
Any other question, please? Another 1 minute.
But I think in this shopping complex, you should ban all these shops which supplies you burgers, pizza, sandwich, cold drinks, and ये जो ले की potato chips. बिल्कुल आप लोग समझते नहीं है मैं ये बोल के थक गया हूँ
सर एक बेसिक सवाल इनके
या
बिहाफ पर
या
आप सब काम ठीक कर रहे हैं खेल भी हैं डाइट भी ठीक कर रहे हैं सैर भी
आप तो
बट स्टिल फैटी लीवर What is the solution?
You have a genetic predisposition. We are unable to push out the liver. As Asians, there we have that genetic was also has been cracked. There are many genes. I don't want to go. One of the commonest is PNPLA3, right? Whose mutation will not able to push the fat products, particularly forget about VLD, particular fat products out of your system, right? We have 40% of our population have that. But that is one factor. It doesn't matter, right? आप जिस पतलू आदमी को fat कहते हैं ना, we are people who are thin from outside, fat inside. That is visceral fat. If you are thin, it's okay. Your weight is okay, but your waist circumference is not all right. You have a grade 1 fatty liver. I can tell you from this. आप जाके कल करा लीजिए. मुझे मालूम नहीं है बिल्कुल.
No, he said you have visceral fat.
Yeah, visceral fat.
Visceral fat.
One question on behalf of the students, sir, for a general knowledge. What about sugar-free sachet? This is culture which I have seen getting developed.
They are all amino acid derivatives. They will cross blood-brain barrier, right? They will increase craving for sweets. There are two poisons, sir. White poison.
Chini se bhi
One
zyada.
is salt, one is sweet. Yes, sugar. Right. तो बच्चे को जो हम फूड देते हैं, बच्चा पैदा उसको विन करते हैं नेस्ले में, हॉर्लिक्स देते हैं हेल्दी फूड करके एडवर्टाइज, बॉर्नविटा देते हैं. दे आर ऑल कमर्शियल यूजलेस प्रोडक्ट्स. आप उसको रागी दीजिए, चिड़वा दीजिए, राइट? Whole things has to change. Yes.
So you take intermittent fasting and
Absolute fasting is never good, right? But we do it. Absolute fasting is good if you are obese and you are habituated with. But intermittent fasting has been found to be beneficial. I told you fat burning, fat stage, non-fat stage. Your fat will start burning if you are fasting for 16 hours. So you have an 8 and 16 hour cycle which you are listening. People do also alternate day fasting, right? But there are many people, because you see there are certain things that are very critical for certain of your body. Brain cells, retina, kidney medullary cells, they need continuous glucose supply or ketone supplies. Now, if you don't have a lot of fat and you have not stored fat, you have a small eater and your amount of fat storage is there. If you do alternate fasting, you can have a hypoglycemic episode, which is not right. So it depends upon your body morph. It's not uniform. हर आदमी different है, sir. You and me are very different. We are human beings. We have a nose, but your and my nose are different. Okay? So that similarly, our body reserve, body metabolism, body system is a little different. We call this polymorphism. I will tell you. Many enzymes are in the body are polymorphic. They do the same function, but little different. Polymorphism determines many diseases. God's design is unique. You cannot match it. Right? You have to understand and manipulate it for each individual patient. That's why I always argue AI cannot replace clinicians, because AI will be fixed data and will be fixed output for all human, from thousands of people, depending on certain demographic features, right? But another human fellow beings of yours, who is a clinician, right, had seen 20 persons behaving differently, will understand you better. So there is a difference. Intermittent fasting, long-term results we don't know. But short-term animal studies, human studies are beneficial. After all, what is intermittent fasting? You provide a 16 hours for a fat burning and a small window for food storage. So you are trying to emulate the evolutionary process. There is other things also beneficiary of non-fed state. When you walked, say example, 20 kilometers, you have inflammation. Some cells die. When cells die, their DNA gets damaged. When the DNA replicate, unchecked replication is cancer. So if you are not eating, the healthy food will eat away unhealthy cells. That is called autophagy. Ma'am, you will remember 2016 autophagy got the Nobel Prize? Because I will give you the story. Very interesting. It started from a baker's. A baker ferments his bread using what? Yeast. आप लोग cook करते होंगे घर में. Now, yeast is grown in a petri dish culture. The food for yeast is nitrogen. This baker in a weekend thought, to hell with it. I will not feed in the weekend. I will go with my children to sea beach for a weekend holiday. After 2 days, he came back and brought out petri dish and examined under microscope. He was surprised that some of the healthy cell has eaten some of the cells which are unhealthy. And that is the first observation on autophagy. The healthy cell will eat away damaged cell and prevent cancer. Right? So by eating 4 times, you are preventing your God has given you that evolutionary process to protect you against cancer. And simple exercise will prevent it. Second, anti-inflammatory properties. Your wound heals. The cell grows, heals. It doesn't grow unchecked. These are also controlled by genes. And they are also upregulated during non-fed state. So see what we are doing. By continuously eating, right, samosa, chai, and kachori, we are suppressing that. I'm sorry, I'm not scaring you. I'm giving you certain physiologies.
Thank you. Good clap. किसी तरह का कोई भी सवाल आपके दिमाग में हो, he is here for some more time and he will answer to it. Apart from your medical terminology, during tea you can have. So this was relevant knowledge prevailed in the soothing atmosphere of South Asian University concerning lifestyles that make liver cry, conveyed in the most simplified manner by one and only one, Dr. Subrat Kumar Acharya. He's bubbling with knowledge all the time to be shared with others in the most authoritative manner. Popularly known as Chief or Guruji, कहते हैं तो हर organ में liver ही नजर आता है इनको. The information gathered by you all is the first-hand updated to be correct time could be taken away. I'm sure audience must have gathered the knowledge to be shared with those who are not here. ये हरफ़े आखिर था in regard to liver. I, on behalf of Professor K.K. Agarwal, President, South Asian University, sincerely thankful to Dr. Acharya for sparing valuable moments to propagate the awareness about the liver diseases and management. Baja diji taliyan. Also thankful to the audience who is always ready to receive the relevant information, not only for themselves, but to be dissipated to others. Kindly keep up the continuous process, acquiring and distribution in the time to come. And finally, we have landed at the moment where we look forward to some entertaining dose after this serious topic of everyone's concern. Let's see what entertainment Dr. Acharya can do for us. He has already directed to me. सोच रहा हूं कि क्या सुनाऊं, कैसे सुनाऊं. पुकार लो तुम्हारा इंतजार है, तुम पुकार लो, ख्वाब चुन रही है रात, बेकरार है तुम्हारा इंतजार है, तुम पुकार लो। होठ पे लिए हुए दिल की बात हम जागते रहेंगे और कितनी रात हम, मुख्तसर सी बात है, तुमसे प्यार है तुम्हारा इंतजार है, तुम पुकार लो। ला 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 ला, सुमत की उम्र के नौजवानों, दिल न लगाना ओ दीवानो, मैंने प्यार करके चैन खोया, नींद खोई, हे लोग तो कहते हैं कहते नहीं है लोग कोई, हे प्यार से बढ़कर रोग नहीं है, रोग नहीं है और कोई, चलता नहीं है दिल दे के यारो इस दिल पे जोर कोई, चलता नहीं है दिल दे के यारो इस दिल पे जोर कोई, इस रोग का नहीं है इलाज दुनिया में और कोई, तो गाओ ओ शांति ओम, शांति शांति ओम, ओम शांति ओम, शांति शांति ओम। चलिए लेट्स हैव टी टुगेदर। प्लेजर। डिमांड है कि कल्चरल प्रोग्राम भी ये मुझसे कराना चाहते हैं, एंड वो कैसा करना है कब करना है, लुक फॉर द डेट, इट विल कम वेरी सून। थैंक यू फॉर ऑल ज्वाइनिंग अस।